Show. What's in your cup?
A whole lot of everything, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody all around the world. Welcome to the best thing that ever happened to your entire life. I go by the name of Files with my fine ass, and she is
Organic Blackberry. Tastes like it sound like it tastes. And he is
DJ Swivel. Anything less would be unswivelized, of course.
Yeah, damn right. Listen, man, I see that these billionaires are spending money to go out of space. It's not really sounding too bad, man.
I mean, if you got it, is that a thing? Like, if you got it, how do you feel about that?
Well, here's the thing. I don't have it, but I want to purchase land somewhere else to go there because it's getting real ghetto and bad down here. Like I don't think it's for me.
My only thing is you got all that money and you literally paid somebody to have your rocket designed to look like a freaking penis. Like, come on, man. Like,
what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
Like, you could do better. You could have paid better. that design plan.
I mean, maybe I was thinking maybe he was just a fan of Austin Powers and just wanted to try to, relive that moment.
That's a real thing?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Was it Richards or was it Bezos?
Yeah.
It was Bezos, yeah.
What?
Yeah. So Richard Branson went and then Jeff Bezos went, and Jeff Bezos
they're in the sky. They're in the States right now.
No, I mean
who knows where these people be? I don't know.
They both did a quick little take off, dip into space for a few minutes and then come right back down. I think Bezos was up.
Oh yeah.
Total flight 11 minutes. I think Branson was 9 or 10, something like that. But got all this money to end world hunger and end homelessness in Los Angeles and across the United States and have plenty left over. But a nice little 5-minute joyride in space, that's more important. But I mean,
would you?
Go ahead. What was you gonna say?
Would you? I'm just asking. Would you?
Would I go to space, or would I end the homelessness problem?
All of that, the homelessness, the whole, what is that, plastic island, and all that.
I was about to ask the same question. And to be honest with you, it's easy to say yeah, but as I really dig deeper into it, it's do people really, is there a way to really end it? You know what I'm saying? Is there really a way? I feel as though that there's more people that benefit off of different crises, off of homelessness, off of, whether it's trash being dumped or, global, this global, not pandemic, but the global crises of pollution and things of that nature. I feel like there's people that benefit off of that. So to try to put money towards it, who's to say? I mean, I know that a lot of these guys have foundations and put money towards it, but it's what effect does it really truly have when, you know what I'm saying, when there's somebody right now that's driving on the freeway that's throwing a cup out the window.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's I'm paying all this money. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to put money toward it. Even though it may not be nothing, it could be, it's like scraps. You know what I mean? Because I think they said to Jeff Bezos, $10 million is literally it's like me giving somebody $1. You know what I'm saying? But I'm only a 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't got it like that. You feel me? But it's do I keep wanting to give dollars towards a cause or towards something that is ultimately going to be counterproductive? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Versus hey, I'm gonna go to space. I'm about to make this money back, and 15 minutes anyway. So the amount of time that I spend in space, I would make the money right back. Like, yeah, I would do it. I'll probably do it too. I would be ignorant to say, no, I'm going to just put my money towards trying to help save the world when it's like, bro, these people don't give a fuck.
So then you agree with the whole spousal support thing then. So you agree with all like the whole like if you got it then. If you got it,
No.
If you got it and it's coming, you know what I'm saying?
No.
And you got it and everybody around you like that's what you got.
I believe it's still tricking even if you got it. That's just how I'm feeling. And that doesn't make any sense. So for those that have been living under a rock or just don't care to research other people's lives, come to the Kickback show. That's why we're here. So Dr. Dre allegedly has been ordered to pay spousal support payments of near $300,000 a month. For me, my question is,
hold on,
how much of that did you?
$300,000 a month. That's
$300,000 a month. Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah.
$3 million.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, man. Which you're right. To Brandi's point, it's like, okay, like, yeah, he has it. Like it ain't really anything, but I mean that's also an expense every month. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that's coming out of your pocket to where it's like, you know, how much royalties are you really making? Even at the end of the day, my logic is, where is that money going to? And apparently it's like there's 2 mansions. I believe, I don't know if there's an island, but there's like several things that are going to her or whatever, right? So it's okay, ultimately, is he paying for the maintenance and upkeep of all of that stuff? Is
Right.
this like a write-off? Like when you start getting into certain money and according to what I hear, because, you know, when you make X amount of dollars, you can't have it in the bank. Like it has to go into a trust, right? And with that trust, annually, you get X amount of, you know, percentage on whatever is in there. So
Right.
I'm pretty sure that whatever he's paying out to her is really chump change because he can get that right back, you know what I'm saying, annually or quarterly or however, whatever his financial breakdown is. I'm pretty sure that he's good for it, right? But then the question becomes, who's deserving of that? And this goes either way. Like this ain't no man or woman thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like the question would be the same if the shoe was on the other foot. Like, is anybody deserving of that if you haven't contributed towards that income, all because of a lifestyle?
Yeah, but
especially
the kids are grown, so it's not like, you know, the expenses are going towards like
Not paying, yeah.
kids, like, you know, for college or whatever the case may be. Like, so yeah.
But the woman, how long were they together?
25, was it 25,
Yeah.
30 years?
So you don't think that
Longer. It's got to be longer than that. It's got to be longer than that because I think they met during the NWA days, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it might be longer than that. It's 25 years. It's only the end of the 90s.
Right. So
you know what I'm saying?
At least 30 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time then, like, you know, for someone to say that they put this time and energy, you know, they could have done XYZ. Even if they done XYZ with this person, they could have done XYZ elsewhere. And so you're saying that, I guess this is just, I have a care of none of this, but I'm just saying, maybe that it's like, I was dedicated to this. So now that I'm removed from this, you know, this shit was supposed to be forever. Now that I'm removed from it, I was dedicated to this. I put in forever. So now that this is being removed.
Yeah.
I mean, after so much. You know, I'm sure there's a laundry list of things that got $300,000 a month.
That
Yeah, but so like let's go off of your example, Brandi. Like, you know, she could have been doing something else instead of being, you know, married to Dr. Dre and generate whatever income. But $3.6 million a year, is that the career path she was destined for? Like,
No, I'm not. Nick, I mean, $300,000 a month said yes.
I mean, I don't think I'm entitled to say, you know, what somebody is, you know, because I don't know what she dealt with. I don't know the details of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm in that predicament, you know what I'm saying, on either point, you know, if the shoe's on either foot, whether I'm in Dr. Dre's position or if I'm a Kevin Federline type, you know what I'm saying? It's like what's the end goal? You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I question the business of marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like who's benefiting off of that? Who benefits off of divorce? And you know what I'm saying? Because it's not like you fall in love with somebody and then you go say these vows. It's like, no, you got to go to the court. You got to pay. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really doing a big thing, you got to pay for a venue. You got to pay churches to, you know what I'm saying, to have a party essentially. Then let's not even talk about a reception, because then you got to pay for the food. You got to pay for the staff. You got to pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're paying all of this, and for what? For 30 years to go by, and for it to be irreconcilable differences or whatever the case may be, but for you to no longer be with this person and then have to pay for a lifestyle, not anything else. Like Swivel mentioned, it's not like I'm paying for kids and nothing like that. I'm paying for a lifestyle. I'm paying for you to live rich and famous because that's what you got accustomed to all your life, at least with me. Fuck out of here. No. I'm not for that. That just seems weird to me. And then again, it goes back to the whole, like, what's the point in prenups and all of that? Like, what's the point?
Yeah, planning for the end.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of it all? What's the end game? What's the end game?
So
that's absurd to me, though. There she is.
Hey, girl.
The nap was real.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the end game is, because all I know is if the shoe was on the other foot, right? And, you know, like if Tiana was making or was worth $1 billion, but like there's drama in our relationship and I'm just, you know, getting fed up with it over time, I'm not waiting 30 years to capitalize and get this, you know, $300,000 check a month or 200, whatever the case may be. Like, I'm not putting in 30 years of
State of California only put in 5.
There you go. So
and then you get alimony.
Crazy.
But
crazy.
Prenups save lives. They really do. Because I have a friend who was a she, and she was the moneymaker, and her she is like a 6-figure earner. Her husband was not, and she signed a prenup and said, you know, if there's any domestic violence or you go back to using drugs, you get nothing. Like, no custody, no money, no alimony, like, you sign it off. Sure enough, he decided he was gonna lay hands on her, and she was like, oh, well, okay.
Bye.
She pulled that prenup out and was like, no alimony, no nothing, no, you know, and then he went back to using also, so he lost his custody of the kids. And it's like, until you get clean, then cool. But like, and I think it was so incredibly smart of her to get a prenup. Like, she knew who she was dealing with. And she made no bones about it. Like, I know you got history. I love you, but I'm not stupid.
I mean, if you know somebody's got baggage like that, then yeah, that's definitely the smart thing to do.
The crazy part is that going back to the Dr. Dre situation, I don't think anybody could have anticipated that $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we knew there was already a high level of success. Granted, it seems as though that there was genuine love or adoration or something there that prevented a prenup or whatever the case may be, to where prenup wasn't. I don't even know, was there a prenup involved? I don't know whether or not there was. Clearly, no, or whatever. But nobody can anticipate $1 billion deal. You know what I'm saying? And the transactions that have conspired over the past 5 years, really, you know what I'm saying? Because that's really when the whole Beats deal and all of that, the headphones and everything really kind of came into fruition. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, at the end of all of that, how much of it was the spouse involved? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm in the studio 24, if, you know, whatever, this is a part of my career, unless you in there making beats along with me or co-producing or whatever the case is, it's like, how I don't see how somebody is entitled to
if
that.
they were dedicating their life to the kids and stuff, and you were on business.
Yeah, I mean, there is that. Like, yeah, B.
And then after, it's almost like, okay, so now the kids are grown, so you don't get nothing. But it's like, but I still was dedicating my life to the kids now. So it's like, even though they're gone, like, I was still dedicating my life to the kids. So now that they're gone, I don't know what to do. Now I don't get nothing because kids are grown now, and I dedicated all my life to the kids.
But then, for me, that seems
it's not even really done at 18, and everybody knows it's not really done at 18.
You're right. But for me, that sounds like a very egotistical thing. And again, this is my logic of looking at it from a systemic standpoint from marriage, right? Like, granted, nobody anticipates a divorce or breaking up with anybody. And you're right. Like, you can't necessarily put a number on time, right? Like, there's no amount of money that you can charge somebody for dedicating your time to raising a family or building a home and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I mean, I'm pretty sure in her mind, $300,000 a month ain't really shit, especially if she's dealt with the lifestyle of an entertainer of his stature for so long. But for me, taking out their status and who it is or whatever, right? For me, it seems like a very egotistical thing to say, oh, I'm entitled to this. It's like, these are your kids too. And again, I would say the same thing if the foot was on the shoe was on the other foot. Like Tiana just brought up, like, if I'm the homemaker, you know what I'm saying? And the wifey is the one that's the breadwinner. Whether she's rich or famous or a CEO or whatever the case may be, like, it's my family too. Like, I knew what I was getting into when we got together.
Well,
even if she wasn't necessarily a CEO,
What if you didn't know what you were getting into? Because Dre and his wife have been together since they were really young, right?
But yes, but so, I find it to.
How can you anticipate that? Like, you know what I mean? Especially if it's a situation where it's like, listen, you have kids. The only reason you're able to go do X, Y, and Z is because I'm dedicating my life to taking care of the kids so that you can be out doing what you got to do. Like, I'm going to set my dreams aside, or I'm going to take care of the kids so that you can do X, Y, and Z and make that happen for us. And if, like, for me, if I'm like, if you're out at the studio all night, you're, doing what you're going to do, but I have to be home with the children in order for you to be able to make that happen. Someone's got to care for the kids, and we're not putting them on grandma. We're not putting them on daycare. I've decided, okay, I will stay home to care for these children, to hold down our household, and maybe even give up on my dreams so that you can have a shot at your dreams. Nigga, you paying me.
Yeah, but that goes to my question right before you got here. Is you dedicated all that time to raising the kids and all that. Now the kids are grown, they're out of the house, they're in their own, professional whatever they do. But is that for me, my question is that a $100 or $300,000 a month salary for you for the time and energy of / sacrifice you did to raise the kids?
So there are no kids in the house anymore? Like all the kids?
Did we break up while they were grown?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we put all that energy to get them to be that sufficient, individual and all that, and we broke up on some good, on I guess. Listen, that whole money situation, obviously that's nothing to him, and she felt like that her whole life that you put into it. I feel you on the whole, because the whole paperwork of marriage, I feel you on that aspect, on the whole alimony and all that. I just kind of like to question, should they get it? If you dedicate your whole life to something, should they? Now, besides the bullshit of what the whole, that I deserve, I'm talking about somebody that really put in 35 years or some shit. I'm talking about these 2-year bitches that we get $2 million, $30 million a month. It's what? How did you guys do that? I'm talking about the ones that really put in their whole life. They just get, even if he is a billionaire and it's $6,000, anybody can live off of 10, 15, okay, but 300, you're wow, it's that's really not that much to him, and she really did put in all those years. Is that wild?
But I mean, that is crazy to me. So to back up a little bit, it's hard for me to believe in any scenario that somebody gets involved with the likes of a Dr. Dre, who was famous at a very young age. We're talking mid 80s, where his career first, was blossoming with world-class wrecking crew, right? And I'm assuming by the time they got together, again, this was NWA stage. So
right.
Granted, I feel as though I don't see a scenario where you don't know what you're getting into, right? Granted, again, nobody expected what was to come with, again, $1 billion, right? And what his career elevated to. But we're talking about Dr. Dre. I feel as though that she knew something. Then when it comes to kids, I don't see a scenario where they don't have an opportunity for a housekeeper, or what I'm saying, like a nanny of some sort. If that's the case, if it is one of those situations to where you want to develop a career or pursue some sort of dream, you got money. I'm married to Dr. Dre. How do I not hire a nanny if that's the case?
On that level, if we're going to go on that spectrum, it's on the whole, it's on the opposite end too. It's always probably been an underlying thing, nigga, listen, if it's over, nigga, you paying. Nigga, I think that's also been something that's been well known between the two.
And this is me playing devil's advocate, right? I've been paying the whole marriage.
Right.
I'm just saying.
No. This isn't a personal attack on you.
Ain't nobody about to walk away from that shit. No, but I'm just saying, ain't nobody about to walk away from that shit. You know what? You did good while we was together. Peace out. You know what? I ain't even, because you did so great. nobody about to walk away from that shit. Come
But
on.
I'm saying, but like to say because this is like I've been hearing this often from people in society, like little groups that I've been coming across where people have been discussing it, which it is what it is. But it's like, how do you say that women primarily? How do you say that $300,000 a month isn't much because he has X amount of dollars? You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is crazy to me when, again, my entire, like, are we adding up? If we're doing that, then let's add up all of the money that I paid throughout the entirety of our relationship for dinners, for rent, for trips,
that's just a good marriage.
For clothing,
for
marriage. Food, for
that's
whatever.
A good marriage.
So, okay, how about this?
That's a good marriage.
Yeah, like that. Like I think that there is
a good time
layer of alimony
memories,
because let's keep in mind a lot of alimony and like the whole idea of alimony came about back in the day when women couldn't work. Like you're not allowed to get a job, right? And so if a woman and a man divorced and the man was the only one working, he had to pay for alimony because she literally had she would have no other recourse because the woman could not work outside of the home, right? Flash forward, obviously World War II changed that for a lot of people and, so on and so forth. So there is an element to alimony that might be outdated. Now, do I think that $300,000 a month is relatively asinine? Yes, but I'm saying that from my bank account. I'm not saying that from their bank account. But I don't make $300,000 a year yet. So, so when I'm thinking of that, obviously it's like the alimony that someone get is proportionate to what someone makes, right? So if he's making, if he's making $9, $10, $11 million a month, what is $300,000 to him?
But
like we're looking at this from our bank accounts.
But even still, it's not like she's gonna enter the workforce the moment the divorce is finalized and all that stuff is concerned. So
but what does it matter?
So she can't continue to live a lavish lifestyle with, say, $75,000 a month.
Now, I'm not saying that she can't,
because that's still $900,000 a year. Like,
no, I agree, but I'm not saying it's not about what she can live off of. It's about the lifestyle that she has become accustomed to in that period of time.
And what I'm saying is, I have to imagine that she can still live just as lavish of a lifestyle at $75,000 a year.
No, you can't.
Compared to $300,000.
You can live just as lavish a lifestyle on $75,000.
She's not doing anything.
$300,000. No, you cannot live just as. Those are two different figures. Those are two completely different tax brackets. That's a private jet versus first class.
First class everywhere.
What you need to take a private jet. Here's my thing, though, like, because you got a custom.
Can we all agree that
that's the money? That's the money difference.
I know. I get it. Here's my thing. You get accustomed to a lifestyle, right? That now you feel entitled to get X amount of dollars, but then the point of you even filing for divorce was a part of that lifestyle as well. Whether it was not being present, infidelity, whatever the case may be, it's like that was a part of the lifestyle too. So like,
so it's the money separation. And that's why I said that shit has always been an underlying thing in the relationship. I'm telling you, like, come on.
To me,
I know,
and you're right. You're right, and that's what's crazy. It's absurd to me. It's absurd.
That's why the bitches are getting their body done, because it's like, listen, man, I'm doing all this under the knife.
To try to land the lifestyle, to land the payment.
When we done, to land a payment.
But there's something that comes along with it. And I remember seeing this on, I want to say it was back when I used to watch these shows with Love and Hip Hop, when it first came out, with Jim Jones and Chrissy, right? And I want to say Chrissy was talking to, I believe her name is Kim Bella. If I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong. It's been so many years since I've watched any of that shit. But Fabulous is Baby's mom, or wife, girlfriend, she was at the time to him, right? And they were having a conversation. They were sitting over dinner and everything. And, you know, this chick, Kimbella, was in her feelings. And she was like, you know, this is, you know, he's doing this and blah, blah, blah. And whatever, pouring her heart out. And Chrissy basically responded to her with saying, this is a part of the lifestyle. Mm-hmm. This is what you get when you're a part of, like, this is it. This is it. Like, you get the lavish living, you get the superstardom, you get the fame, you get all of that, but it comes at the price of X, Y, and Z. Like, it isn't easy. You know what I'm saying? And so I hear what you're saying, because I understand that there is a culture out here of women that modify themselves to try to fit into this category to attract a certain type of man that lives a particular lifestyle. But it's like, what are you asking for? You're asking for this lavish living for somebody to be faithful to you? Or is it all for a paycheck? If it is for a paycheck, which we all know that majority of the time, it isn't based on real love, right? Because that's why we have sugar daddies of the world and all of that, right? So if that is the case, when it comes down to a separation without a prenup, it's like, how do you feel as though that you're entitled?
What about if it is real love?
It's hard to believe for me.
I'm just asking, what about it when it is? Like, you know what I mean? Because that shit gotta exist. But what about when it is?
When it is, then this conversation doesn't exist, because you make it work based on that true love.
I mean, but
I believe that.
Like, if it is true love, like, how do you, it's such a convoluted topic, because it's like, how do you know, like, what if she is in love and he's, you know, just like, oh, feeling entitled because, oh, he makes good money. He's entitled to be a hoe. Like, you know what I mean? Like, then you have to add, like, I feel like that just adds to another level of why she should be entitled to a little bit of something when she leaves, or when they finally let up, because, like, that's a
dealing
lot
with all that shit
to go through, like, especially if she's faithful in the situation. And I'm not saying that the women in these situations are flawless or whatever. I mean, for instance, if even in, like, our situation, if I'm making $1 million a year and we didn't start out that way, I genuinely believe that if we were to separate, if we were to have a divorce, Ian should be entitled to a part of that money. Why? Because he held down the household and he made sure that I could, like, he supported me mentally, emotionally, physically, to be able to go out and do the things that I need to do to be able to make that money. And granted, not only that, when I'm out making that money, I'm making money for us. I'm making money for the household. I'm making money with the intention and the understanding that that money isn't only going into my bank account alone. Like, that's what it's going to be. And then if I have the audacity to go out and dip out and, you know, start hoeing around, feeling like, oh, I'm entitled because I pay all the bills. Okay, first of all, no, you're not. Money does not make you entitled to do anything, period. Number one. And number two, like, if I'm out doing this, knowing that he's a good man, knowing that he's at home, knowing that he's doing X, Y, and Z to make sure that the house is functioning so that I can do this, then I'm just doubly wrong, and I should be penalized for effing that up. Like,
I feel as though that you bring up an amazing point, and what you, to highlight what you're bringing up, which I don't feel as though applies to that standard of what we're talking about. And again, this is beyond Dr. Dre, because again, I don't know exactly what his wife, clearly I feel as though that she, you know, whatever she's getting is because she helped contribute to part of his success, if that is the case, right? But in a traditional sense of what we see in today's society, this is going to sound very Kevin Samuel-esque. The question then becomes, what do these individuals bring to the table? Mm-hmm. That's beyond looks or anything that's sexual, both men and women, right? That so then calls you, because what you said, like, to your point, if you're going out and get it and you didn't have it when y'all got together, but y'all are a team, because ultimately it goes back to my initial point. All of this is a business transaction. Marriage is all about money. Who's benefiting from this, right? Like it's literally business at the end of the day, right? So if you both come together, y'all both aren't necessarily at that wealth status or whatever the case may be, but then while you're together, you build to that, then absolutely. I feel as though that there is a sense of entitlement on both ends, because it's like, okay, look, I played my part as in helping you to get to where you needed to be. I took off some of this stress. I took, whatever the case, my responsibilities were mine. I fulfilled my duties. I had my accountability, right? I don't see that happening in a lot of these scenarios that, where we see these women again making themselves up to attract a particular type of man. It's like, okay, what else are you bringing to the table outside of you have a nice body and you're giving him gratification?
Yeah. Because
no, I don't agree that a man is, whoever the breadwinner is entitled to go ahead and step out, especially if you're committing yourself, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, I get it. Like, you're not bringing anything else to the table. Like, I'm the one that's having you're the one living lavish with Birkin bags and whatever the case else is, right? You're living this lifestyle and doing what? You're an expense. Well, you're a liability.
And I can't write you off.
Well, yeah. But you can also argue that
well, technically, you almost can.
The women that these men would be cheating with are going to be the same type of woman. 9 times out of 10, they're not. Oh, I'm not intellectually stimulated at home. Let me go find a professor to fuck. No, they're not. Like, that's not what they're doing. They're like, it's.
I don't know, because
type of situation.
Monica Lewinsky was the tough.
No. I'm not saying it's like the same, like, looks wise or whatever. I'm saying, like, if they're going to go out and they're going to cheat, what are these women that they're cheating with offering other than gratification and a nice body? So then what's the difference? Like, like, you're going to complain about your woman at home. At least she's faithful and she's not bringing stuff home to you. And yeah, okay, maybe all she is bringing to the table is a nice body and gratification. But if that's your beef and you're stepping out, then who are you stepping out with?
Well, so my question, to kind of bring it back to full circle for, the Dr. Dre situation is, to Foz's point of, like, him and his wife met, the very early stages, NWA era or whatever, and that wealth built up throughout the course of their relationship. So I'm not saying that she shouldn't get, any type of money. What I'm saying is, does it necessarily have to be $300,000 a month? Just because he makes a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean that she also should get a substantial, hefty sum of money. Like,
the court calculates it as a percentage of how much money you bring home. So, like, alimony, say for instance, I'm just pulling this out of the air, is 15% of someone's take home or their gross, their adjusted gross income, right? So whether Dre makes $100,000 a year, $100 million a year, $1 billion a year, it's not based on what you're worth so much, I don't think, but I believe it's based on what you're bringing home on a regular basis. So yeah, to us, it's like, whoa, $300,000 a month, but none of us make Dr. Dre money.
I understand all that.
So in that case, to keep things fair across the board between the uber, rich 1%ers and then the, 99% of us who are not making that much money a year, that's why it is what it is. So it's because, and then not only that, like, we'll sit here and argue all day that, like, the tax system is unfair and all these rich people like Jeff Bezos and his penis rocket are paying nothing in taxes on their penis rockets versus, us paying our 25, 35% So like, then is it fair to say, okay, well, you're uber rich, so we're going to give you a break on the alimony because, you know, we just feel like that's a really big amount of money, even because we don't make that kind of money? Like, is it fair to tell Dre, you only have to pay 5% of your income? Like Sean over there, who makes $100,000 a year, has to pay 15%.
No, I guess, and that goes back to my point as far as like the kids being grown and out of the house. It's not like, you know, his soon-to-be ex-wife is now like stuck with these expenses for, you know, the kids' education and, you know, putting food on the table and that sort of thing. Like, no, the kids are grown. Like, so, you know, should the percentage then be adjusted because of the circumstances?
Well, it is adjusted because what happens is, so if we divorce and you have part-time custody of the kids and I have part-time custody of the kids, and then I make the most money, then I have to pay you alimony for just you to live. And then, especially if you're not working, and then child support on top of it. And then once the kids are gone, because those are two separate payments. People lump alimony and child support together, but they're not the same thing. So then if there are no kids in the house, then you don't pay child support and then you only pay alimony. So if their kids are grown, then that alimony or that $300,000 that she's getting a month is alimony only. And yes, is that a crazy amount of money? Yes, it is to me. But again, I don't make Dr. Dre money. I'm not uber rich. And like, it's, you know, it's not, I can't even imagine $300,000 yet. Like, that's crazy. I don't know that I would even want $300,000 a month. That sounds like a lot of responsibility. You know what? Hit me with a couple $1 million a year.
You say that until you see it.
Right.
Listen, I've learned that it's only a lot until you see it. You know what I'm saying? And we keep saying it like we not in that tax bracket. Like when you get into that tax bracket, there's a lot of different things that change. Like, you know what I mean? And it's easy to say, oh, she's not entitled and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, if she, you know, if you used to living in a mansion, it's easy to say, well, just go get a penthouse or go live in an apartment. Yeah. Like, no, I want to continue riding in this Rolls Royce and living in, you know, Calabasas or Pacific Power, wherever they live. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's my point, though.
Yeah, so I mean, I
will make $3.6 million in 1 year. It's not like the alimony is just being paid to her for 1 year. You can buy a very big mansion in friggin' Hollywood Hills for that kind of money of 1 year of alimony.
No, you can't.
Okay, fine, a year and a half.
$300,000 a month, like is that the mortgage? That's insane. That's wild to me. That's wild. I pay a couple $100s for groceries and I know what I get. So I can only imagine. $3 million, that's a lot of fucking money for nothing.
In this day and
That's what I'm saying.
In this day and age, you're right, especially in LA, that ain't shit. It really ain't shit. Like, you can't really get shit or do shit for that amount of money. But again, for nothing.
Yeah, for not doing it. Yeah.
Man, there's a whole lot of something that was going on at that time. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It was 30 years or something.
Yeah. Oh, they were married for 30
So that whole for nothing. I don't know. But I'm just saying.
Like, that's a long time to put in with one person to be.
That whole for nothing. It's like.
I mean, but I'm interested. You're right. But I'm interested to see was she bookkeeping? Like, what were the contributions that you were putting forward? Like, this is real shit.
You are
like,
so funny. You keep going back to that. Man, she was breathing the same air he was breathing, man, knowing he was, oh, we gonna record. I'm not saying nothing.
Look, I think it's only right, you know what I'm saying? Since my man gotta be paying out, we might as well kind of help put towards the funds of said lifestyle that Sister Young is gonna be living. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into some Dr. Dre tunes. Swivel, can we do that? Can we do that?
Can I start off with FU?
Yeah, might as well. You know what I'm saying? Dre Day, you know what I'm saying? Just run down the whole catalog. You know what I'm saying? Shit, at this point, you might as well play that Been There Did That, where he was doing the tango or whatever in that little music video. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's trying to get funding for Aftermath, you know? Yeah, let's do it. This is the Kickback Show, thekickbackshow.com. Holla at us, let us know what you think. Let us know what your thoughts are at the Kickback Show on everything. DJ Swivel is in the mix. Snitch.
Don't miss a beat. Kick that beat. Follow us on social media at The Kickback Show. Kickback on everything. Yo. The Kickback Show. What's in your cup?
Whole lot of everything, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Kickback Show, thekickbackshow.com. You are very welcome. Miss Brandi Ann, what's happening with the game plan? You know what I'm saying? Organic Blackberry.
Oh, yeah. So listen, I have a real question.
What's happening?
Is it wrong for men to wear fake jewelry?
No. I don't believe it is. I don't believe it is. No. I don't believe it is.
What?
Because, and here's the reason.
Just to clarify, what kind of, are we talking
Yeah,
like?
give us context.
Like earrings, rings, necklaces, all the above? Like what are...
I'm not a loss for words that we even have to do that. I'm not a loss for words that we even have to do that. But what I experienced was it was diamonds. It was fake diamonds.
I don't see nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? And here's the reason why. Things get robbed every day, right? For nothing.
Oh my God. So it's not no shit where dude got his real shit somewhere else and he wearing his fake shit, okay?
Okay, but I'm saying
and I just saw this in a passerby situation, ladies and gentlemen. Don't put that on me. Yeah.
I think it's cool because again, people get rocked for real shit all the time. I would want to know the meaning and the value that somebody gets from wearing real like $100,000 worth of jewelry on their neck. Like that's stupid to me. If you got it,
but
so be it.
Because that's their lifestyle. But you're talking about somebody who don't got it and is wearing it like it's their lifestyle.
So I present Exhibit B because there are a lot of fake asses. There's fake boobies out here. There's fake eyes. There's fake hair. There's all kind of fake everything.
Because they got the heels.
Out here.
Yeah, but okay, but I feel like a fake hair is to the extent of a guy having a lease car or, you know what I'm saying, some situation renting versus owning whatever his house. You know what I mean? It's not really on some, oh, because I wear wigs, you're allowed to wear fake chains.
Well, what's the point of wearing fake hair?
Sometimes I like to give it a break. My shit is thick, okay? And I got short wigs and long wigs. So it's not you just want to have long hair, okay? So okay. I like the versatile situation. So
with the same logic, using the same logic, it could easily be said for a man to say, you know what, I want to give my bank account a break. I want to wear, you know what I'm saying, fake chain. Sometimes small, sometimes long.
I'm not doing this with you today.
I'm saying, like, what's the, you know, I mean, and here's the thing, like, granted, yes, there is that fine line of somebody walking around in front and acting like they got it when they, you know, everything isn't authentic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. It's like, what's the point in walking around acting like you flossing when You really ain't. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, there's so many like gold-plated chains and rings and you know what I'm saying that people walk around with. It's not a 100% gold. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, that's cool. As long as you're not out here trying to flaunt like, look at y'all broke niggas. It's like, bro, relax. It's not that serious. Because niggas get robbed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all for wearing, fake it till you make it. Or even if you've made it, fake that shit. So what? Fuck these niggas. You gotta impress nobody.
Right.
But you're getting it to impress them. So why not be sounding yourself and go get your ass some motherfucking other shit that you can afford and be good with you and what you got instead of doing something just so you can look like somebody, so you can be and feel like somebody.
I feel like it's so many people who feel so much pressure to keep up appearances. It's the same reason a woman will carry a fake Louis bag, right? Like, I think it depends on what is the intention behind it. Like with Foz, like if you're putting it on, you're like, yeah, you broke niggas, and like you're, whooping it up. Meanwhile, you're like back on your rent and your car is on empty. Like that's different. Like when you're like putting it out there like that and you're just being phony, then that's just ugly. And so no. But I mean, I don't think like if you're going to a function or something, or you're like going out and you want to look nice and you want to put on a chain or something like that, if it's not real, but you're not out there being like, yeah, look at my shit like that, then I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. But like I said,
that's what I'm saying. We're not talking about those people, those humble guys that just want to wear a chain or two because they can't afford it. We are talking about the ones that got the 6 chains on, the iced out, thick, you know what I'm saying? That's the ones I'm talking about. So you guys are like, nah, that's fine. They just wanna.
I mean, if
you're talking about the ones that's faking the funk.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I was just in Atlanta, okay?
Oh.
I'm trying to tell you, I saw a lot.
Well, I mean, that's different. You should have started with that.
All of it, but I'm just saying, I experienced a lot. I was there for like 24 days.
That sounds like there are several individuals trying to live up to a particular lifestyle or appear that they're a part of a particular lifestyle. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
And that's not okay. So, because that's what I'm saying. Is it okay for men to wear these jewelry just so that they can be in the in crowd of a crowd that's not even noticing it? Like, I'm not even gonna get to the deep part. Let's just say, is it okay for them to wear the fake jewelry?
I don't align myself with or find it beneficial to impress anybody for any reason with anything, whether it's with a car, possessions, whatever the case may be. If your ego is telling you that you need to present yourself in a particular fashion to get socially accepted, there's clearly deeper rooted issues that I don't think that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like if you are whole within yourself, and it kind of goes back to what Tiana said, like if you like, look, I'm putting this on and this makes me feel good about myself, but my bills are paid, got a house, you know what I'm saying? Like all my family and everybody is good, then cool. I just find it problematic when you're trying to when people try to uphold an image, but it's like your credit score is 500. You know what I'm saying? like you borrowing clothes, or you live on a futon on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like a futon match. Like that's a problem. That's like a mental thing to say, what is it that compels you to want to be a bad chick or want to be the it nigga? You know what I'm saying? To try to impress other people with all of whatever it is, but you live in raggedy.
I feel like that's
what I'm saying? Like
issue within the Black community. And I think that that's something that's still very deep seated in the South. And so, yeah, I agree, Brandi. I do see a problem with it when it comes to that context. But I think that that's a deep systemic issue because, like, I'm gonna put my dad on blast. So, like, all of my family is in Indiana, right? And my dad, he's on a fixed income. He's on Social Security disability. but that Negro will find money to get a bespoke suit. And like everything he wears walking suits, he wears pinky rings, he will not hesitate to buy a leather jacket or a gold chain or something along those lines, knowing damn good and well he lives in a 1-bedroom apartment in the hood in Fresno, does not have a car, but damn it, will look good as he's walking down the street. And I think that that's a deeper issue, especially with like older generation who's like, oh, I have to put on appearances. And I think a lot of it goes back to systemic racism and feeling like if I dress the part, I'll be treated better.
Right.
A lot of times it is that, but I feel like our generation, like that's not something that we do as much, or at least it's not something that we should do. But I think that that's still a very, very deep-seated issue in like a lot of the southern states.
Well, we still, our generation still does it because, you know, it's like, do they, you know, everyone's got to buy the newest pair of Jordans that just dropped, or, you know, like Brandi was saying, like have some kind of chain on or multiple chains on just to feel like they're, you know, they're fitting in with, you know, hip hop culture or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, these younger generations will still do it, obviously to a lesser degree than what your dad does.
But to be fair, there's also a career that can be made out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like influencing in today's generation is a full ass thing to where you can be homeless, but if you could just take a bunch of nice pictures and whatever, and it's advertising, you know what I'm saying? As long as you get the views. And so I think that I kind of still stick by, you know, my initial statement to where it's like, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, granted, it is a very fucked up mentality that's attached to it, but I get it. You know what I mean? Because today's age, you could literally pretend that, you know, you could take a picture on the beach and have a drink in your hand and, you know what I'm saying, and get views, and people will subscribe to your brand or your product, whatever that may be, right? Simply because they want to appear to look like how you're looking. You know what I'm saying? So if that means me putting on all these chains and have on this Louis belt and have a Gucci bag or whatever and look the part, there's somebody that's going to be watching this and be like, oh, he's on, let me book him. Or let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me subscribe, let me booty boom. And there's money that can be generated. Whereas you're right, like back in the day, our parents, they wanted to live and keep up with this particular lifestyle, but it stemmed from deeper rooted issues that, for me, my experience is rooted in like religion, as well as, you know, slavery and coming down that lineage. You know what I'm saying? So it's deep. It's a fucked up mentality. Again, I don't agree with anybody. You know, get your life right within yourself before anything else. Like, fuck what people think, fuck what how they view you and all of that kind of stuff. But Atlanta is a very different place. From my experience, I've spent a few days down there, and it's not for me. Coming from LA and seeing the glitz and the glamour and seeing Hollywood but like really living the shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then going other places and seeing how people project themselves to try to live, or even seeing people come to LA and pretend to act a particular way or put on this facade in order to try to impress other people. It's like, again, I get it, but it's weird. It's like, get your, you know.
I have family from out there. So it's like, I saw that side you're talking about. And then I saw the other side when they're like, you know, thoroughbred and they're appreciative of the Atlanta, you know, ground and all that. And it's still not enough. It's like, no, I'm cool. Like, maybe if it was like 4 of them, you know, 4 Atlantas or something together. But it's like, that little bitty, like, nah.
It gets tricky out here. It gets real tricky in some of these other markets. Nah. Like people fall for the okie doke all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like there's shows that are dedicated towards, you know, lifestyles. You know what I mean? There was literally a show called The Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous. You know what I mean?
I remember that
MTV Cribs was like a whole thing that was based around artists renting out a house, or the show renting a house for this artist to say that they lived there, to give them a tour of it. It's like, this is not their real house. Like, but to the unknowing, they'll literally think, oh, this is the way that I need to live because so-and-so, which is why I love and respect Redman so much, because he was like, look, this is my real place.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like I really live here. Doorbell is still messed up.
So I can pop a spot and brush my teeth at the same time. Like he
at the same time.
I just feel like, listen, y'all, they have trap music on the radio, guys. I just feel like the molding of like, what are you? Okay, it's not even trap music. Let me not say that, because there's nothing wrong with trap music. It's just certain type of music. You
know what it is? It's the image that is attached to
what are you trying
the music.
To create?
That's what you
the
have a problem with.
That I go to these places, and yeah, it starts off good and then it ends, but it's like
it's the image that's attached to the lifestyle. That's literally what it is. There's the futures of the world, right? Who was really in the trap, and or the 2 Chainz that, lived this particular lifestyle, and they were all about that life, and then they talk about it in their music, right? But then when you really get down to the nitty gritty, you find out that like Future doesn't actually do the drugs that he talks about in his music, right? Like he doesn't drink promethazine and codeine and none of that, right? Like he has sold it according to his music, but he doesn't live this lifestyle. Yet and still, there is the trap people that actually live this lifestyle, that do all of that stuff, that dress that way, that live that way, and that's what they do, right? And that's their theme music. Then you have people outside of that want to emulate that aren't really about that lifestyle, that want to try to appear as if they're a part of this lifestyle, but then they're really not. And then they end up those are the ones that end up getting beat up and robbed, and you know what I'm saying, and got on the fake chains and the fake everything, and share their homeboys' clothes, and you know what I'm saying.
I mean, just somebody needs to sing a song, okay? It's just not enough femininity in the air. Like, it's just so hard head bopping. Fuck that nigga did it. It's just like, oh my God, everywhere.
T-Pain just said it. T-Pain just said like, yo, do something different.
Right.
He's like, this little baby. There's literally two artists with baby in their name. Like, do something different.
Yeah,
you know
and I just found their names. I just found out their names. So it's like,
oh, it's tough out here. These government names are rough and tough.
No, not the names. I just found out the differentiation. I thought they both was the same name. I'm like,
oh, you thought the baby and Lil Baby was like the same?
I thought it was the and the.
No,
instead of Lil and the.
Lil Baby, the baby, and then there's little everything under the sun.
Yeah, little everything.
And wanting other people to call you the baby or baby anything. Like, what happened to like Dr. Dre, Grandmaster Flex? Now you're like, call me little baby. Like, no, I have problems with that.
But that came from a different lifestyle. Like when you talk about like a Grandmaster Caz, Grandmaster Flash, like they came from, the Zulu Nation, like, the beginnings and origins of hip hop, right? Yeah. So for them, it's much different. Somebody like a Dr. Dre, there's a whole thing that goes behind it, right?
And I understand that. I'm just saying these are names that people aspired to have. Like, that's an aspirational name. Like, it's people who go to school.
Dr. Dre?
Yes. Like, that's aspirational. Calling yourself a doctor anything is aspirational. It doesn't take anything for someone to call you little baby. I call Imani baby. She's 2. There's why are you aspiring to be a toddler? I don't understand. There's no aspiration.
But that's it.
And why are you a man wanting to be called like
toddler? How do you explain Common? That's not an aspirational name.
Well,
That's
common
very
sense.
Common.
But there's
You're stupid.
He's dying too. Look at him. He's
He's
dying. He's dying.
Because I
Get a
can-
swivel. Let it out.
He's stupid.
I
He's
feel like
stupid
he's been having that joke for a minute. I feel like he's been having that joke for a minute.
Because it's funny because it could just keep going. Like, who in the world wants to be Kanye West? Who wants to be called? Who wants to be called Styles P? Who wants to be called Cameron?
Yeah, no, I get it.
But I mean, you're right. But I mean,
Uh-oh.
but again, it speaks to I think the bigger narrative of the music industry, artist development. You know what I'm saying? And who are these artists? You look at their name, it's like, who are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, with that being said, if you're gonna wear fake jewels, make sure that your bank account can at least, is adequate. Make sure that you feel happy within yourself. Make sure your credit score is up to par.
And don't get upset if somebody literally, pulls your chain and pulls your card and exposes the fakeness of it.
Just know where you at. You know what I'm saying? Know where you at and know who you are as a person. You know what I'm saying? Because, I know that there's a lot of people out there that wear all they chains and they real and they never get G-checked. But it's because they're about that life. Like, they're really authentic to who they are and they show love and respect to those that are around them. You know what I mean? And they're able to go any and everywhere. What Jay say, I'm good on any MLK Boulevard.
Yeah.
You able to go and do when you walk with that love and respect for other people. You know what I'm saying? But if you're out here belittling others and trying to pretend as if, everybody else is inferior to you, it's like that becomes problematic. You know what I mean? Because there's always gonna be a bigger wolf.
Well, and I feel
Plain
like
and simple.
down to, like you were saying, authenticity. Just be authentic.
Yeah.
Figure out who you are. And I feel like a lot of these people who are inauthentic are the ones who have never taken the time to learn and decide who they were, uniquely them. And I think that's a lot of that is it comes down to that, to authenticity.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just have to, I guess you can't say anything on the inside the brain when you walk past them unless you get to know somebody, find out that they fake, then you got to be like, all right, cool. They fake. How are you as a person? Are you sound? Are you good? Do you mind? Okay, cool. You just doing it just to do it.
Or just check to see if they neck green. I ain't never had them issues.
I seen it. And I'm like, and then somebody told me they was proud of it. They're like, I don't take my chains off. I was like,
That's different. That's
your neck. I was like,
that's different.
so you're proud of that. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, I saw a lot. It was 24 days. I can count. I counted it. 24 days.
It ain't gonna itch if you used to eating hot Cheetos every day and Takis and all of that. You ain't worried about no fake jewelry itching your
You're
neck.
right. You're right about that. You're right about that. And that's something I don't know was going on. I don't know if they was having that, but I saw that. That was one for the books. That's something you actually can't forget. I just learned. That's something when you see it, you can't forget
That's
it.
different. That's different.
Yeah.
It ain't for me. I can tell you that. Well,
Nah.
Bill Cosby's free. So, this has been the Kickback.
Oh God, what did y'all hear about? Y'all heard about what they said about R. Kelly with the guy?
Oh, R. Kelly is going underneath the jail.
With the guy? He did it with the guy?
I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know.
You heard about that? He
Yeah.
said that. So I'm so done with that. I'm done with it all.
Time someone comes out and tells me that an R&B dude is gay, that should not surprise anyone under the sun. You are a grown man who admittedly enjoys singing and dancing. I'm not against this.
Message.
Remember who was in choir with us when we were younger. I'm not against it. I think it's wrong for the industry to force these men to like put like
to be straight and sell to women and do all that. It's super wrong for that.
Yeah, like I think that you're wrong. You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that. But you know,
they be lying.
Surprise. And don't be mad. Like, it's common sense. Like I said, remember choir. I remember the people that I was in choir with.
I remember the people I was in choir with too. And you know what's crazy? It was crazy. One of them was crazy.
Listen.
Another one I knew.
In choir with it was 3 of them. 3 types. You were either gay, you were super uber Christian, or you were there for the girls. And
exactly. That's it. That was it.
The drama kids went hand in hand because it was choir and drama.
And it was weird. I mean, and I was in drama too, but you know, I actually like to act.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. R. Kelly humping.
What? Yeah, no, it's true. I know because y'all jogging y'all memory of that shit. Y'all probably remember a few homeboys like, damn, I wonder. Yes, they are. And if not, they tried. They tried.
Shit can never happen to me though. This is the Kickback Show.
What is that? What is that from?
That's from the Boondocks. That's from the Boondocks.
Yeah, it's so fucked up because now I get it and it's really funny and I want to like give my laugh in, but I get it. I'm like,
That's funny.
It's fucked up, but I get it. That's fine.
That's funny. Yeah. Shout out to all Black entertainers and business owners, all that good stuff and things.
Shout out to all these Black athletes running things in the Olympics already after just like 3 days. So.
Yeah, it's popping.
How many gold medals America brought back consistently before they allowed Black folks to be in the Olympics? That's what I want to know. Someone answer that. Someone do get to the Googles and let me know.
You heard about how many condoms they switched? How it was originally like 150,000 and they needed this time 250. There's like they have to get more condoms.
You gotta get more. What?
You didn't read that story? Googles. Get to the Googles. Okay. I don't know the exact numbers, but there was some astronomically crazy numbers. They were like, they normally have this much, and it went viral, went crazy. Like the information was because they were like, they need more. They were like, this time they're projecting to ship this amount, and it was like a crazy number, like 250,000 condoms.
Condoms?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know for the Olympics.
You guys heard about the Olympic City, how it goes down.
The Village, yes. I heard it was crazy in 2016 in
How
Rio.
you know about that?
Because it's on the news. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
But this year, they created bed frames and headboards out of cardboard to kind of to try to discourage a lot of the because of COVID. How successful that is?
Crazy.
You know.
Look at that man standing up. What you talking about? Stand up city.
I know.
Olympic legs. You hear me? Olympic legs.
Because that's the only place you can do it, right?
Wouldn't let that shit happen to me though.
And on that note, I think it's about time.
On that note, yeah. Listen, it's always been an amazing, experience when we're able to speak our mind, and that's part of the reason why this show exists. Even with everything that has been said and our perspectives based on our experience, we always encourage you, the listener, those that are watching, to do your own research. Go and figure out what it is that you think. You know what I'm saying? Because this is just our one perspective. You know what I mean? There's so much more to this world, whether you agree or disagree. Holla at us, hit us up at The Kickback Show on everything, as always. You can also hit us and find us at The Kickback Show thekickbackshow.com. I go by the name of Files, Wavecap Johnny on all your social media devices, and she is
Organic Blackberry, tastes like it sound like it tastes. And she is
It's Tiana Giovanna across the board on all your social media devices. And he is
DJ Swivel on Twitter, Swivel on Instagram, SWIVLL.
That's right.
there it is. Take care of yourself, be well, drink water, and
Stay moisturized.
don't let it happen to you. Stay moisturized.
I think crazy.
All right, y'all. Peace.